Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins. Listen up, sports fans.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. We are back and we are live here for another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. I am your host, Darion, of the Darion Hopkins Show. Yes, we had to wait for 5 minutes later. I had to wait for somebody to come in here. I didn't want to start by myself, Anthony Estrada. I didn't want to start by myself. You good. I didn't want to start by myself. But we definitely are in the building, man. And make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel on here on the Darion Hopkins Show. And we're on Instagram and we're on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow us over there at the D Hopkins Show. Before we get into any of the topics today, make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase for all live sport event, comedy events, live music concerts, anything of that nature. If you do want to go over and use that promo code to get $20 off your first purchase, use the promo code DHopkins at the Darion Hopkins Show. And make sure y'all go to betus.com. The link is in the description. If you want to use 125% of your sports book upon your initial deposit, the link is in the description. Make sure y'all check out betus.com right there as well. Well, good afternoon. What an interesting morning. Morning. How you feeling though? You good?
Yeah, you know what? I want to say something this morning, man. Like, bro, first, I have to practice what I preach, and I promote positivity at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? And I just want to just say that I'm just that type of dude. I'm riding with you. You get what I'm saying? So it's just that's just all that is, bro. And I just, I like competition. Competition is nothing wrong with that, but things don't have to go further than that. We all still grown men. Everybody's still trying to make it. Everybody just, it does. I just feel like even you kind of can touch on this the best because your posts prior to this have been hitting, and I just feel like you've been promoting this. Everybody working together, and you know what I'm saying, and it don't have to be a competition. Exactly. It doesn't have to be. And even from what I'm seeing, even besides what the direct thing was, even people's response, "Oh, you not nobody, daddy," and whatever. And I'm speaking from a outside perspective. You never said anything bad. You get what I'm saying? I had I personally had 2 comments of me saying something before this. So you never had anything bad to say. You get what I'm saying? You never. So I just feel like we just promote positivity, man. There's nothing wrong with a little good competition, but all that negative stuff, man, we gonna stay out of that. We working, we grinding, we doing.
We're not gonna get into the We're not gonna get into the negative stuff, man. All I'm gonna say is this though. If y'all said that if people say that they gave me them flowers, show me that you gave me them flowers because I feel like those flowers was not given. You know what I'm saying? And I kept myself quiet. If you go back and look at the second episode of the Darion Hopkins Show, I allude to what I said about the Spotlight Sports Network. I said what I had to say about it, and I left it alone. And mind you, that was back about 2 or 3 months ago, where I talked about it. About the Spotlight Sports Network, and I deaded it. And I felt like now, if like I said, if you feel as though that you are saying anything about me and sneak this in, I'm going to address it until you clarify it. Simple as that. Keep it there. I'm not making it no personal beat because they don't want to take it there. I'm gonna be completely honest. They don't want to take it there. I'm gonna keep it absolutely real. So
yeah, that's why I said they gonna talk about that.
That's why I said we're gonna start at 12:15, 12:20 ish, and go from there. Yeah. Mac, my brother Tay Rock, and No Mercy Sports should be coming into the show today.
Yes, sir.
We have a nice bunch of people coming into the show to talk about the few topics that we have, and I know Boog have some topics as well, but let's get into it. It's recap day of the NBA draft. Let's get straight into it. Like, we sat up there for 3 hours for a first round, bro. A first round, and you did your top 15 mock draft. For the people that's listening or the people that's watching wherever you're watching at, give them your recap on how you did overall in the top 15. And then we'll go after that. We'll talk about who fell, whose stock went up, and we'll go from there.
I mean, honestly, I did all right. I'm not gonna lie. All the players besides Whitmore, and I think it was one more guy, a French guy, but I'll probably 2 players off. Now, in general, I can say that. Now, the teams, I got totally kind of slaughtered on that after the Wizards pick, after the A pick, I was done after that. But as far as the players,
you had the picks. So technically, you had the picks right, but the wrong team.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, but like I said, man, it was crazy last night, man. Even I drank me a little bit of a Monster this morning. I don't really drink energy drinks because, man, I was up all night. Even something else I want to talk about, man. Philly might have made an all right move last night. They might have made. They signed. Yeah, man. They signed Jaquavion Smith, and that's somebody. He's from He played for North Carolina State. He also played for UNC Wilmington, but he kind of big guard got it. That might be all right. That might be all right pickup. Depending on like how things gonna go, and us not really having like a solidified point guard, or even trying to let Maxey and him come in and maybe slide James Harden down to the 2, depending on how that goes. But it was some all right moves, man. Tracy, man, I ain't gonna lie. When you sent that screenshot last night, I was literally waiting for this man to get drafted. I felt bad, bro, because for somebody that's supposed to go,
about what you said on Twitter about Tracy, Tracy Davis.
Yeah, man. So he's really supposed to go top 15, bro. He's way to the bottom of the second round and get drafted. And I cannot lie. The Wizards, man, like I said, the Wizards they pulled the trigger on him, which was smart. But man, I waited up all night. I wanted him to get drafted. I wanted to see where Gigi Jackson was gonna go, a couple other guys. So yeah, man, it was. I definitely liked the draft last night. Teams, I like how the NBA is looking. They actually went to go get what they needed. You can tell a lot of teams are trying to be contenders now. They're not trying to just draft just to draft. Just the hot guy right now. They're trying to draft. Okay, this is what we need. This is what we're going to pick up. We're trying to contend. So I like last night. Last night it was all right. But my mock draft was all right, man. I'm not mad at it.
So shout out to Arku. He said, "Good luck to score on the Thunder to the rest of the league." Then he says, "Tell me a combination of a lineup that you can't put in the 2 high-end defenders." He said you can't. So he's talking about how the way the Oklahoma City Thunder drafted last night. But we all know the Oklahoma City Thunder in the last couple of years, they have been hitting on their draft picks. That's one thing I can say when it comes to OKC. They have been I think they got Derek. I think they went up and got Carson Wallace, and then Dallas went up getting Derek Lively in the trade. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't think Dallas. I mean, we heard rumors of Dallas, moving that number 10 pick, but they pulled the trigger on it. They only moved down 2 slots.
RC
got their guy.
RC had a comment about this man, Imani Bates. I did not think I said he was gonna get drafted before he went to sleep, but man, that was big for Cleveland and what they needed. He's gonna have to work on his defense, but think about that coach. He's going. He's a coach. I think that was a good move for him. Even me personally, knowing like him being up there in Michigan or whatever, and coming to Cleveland is not that far of a culture shock for him. And just like I said, his off court stuff was the thing. But man, 6'9" scorer, he's gonna bring them that. He's gonna score the ball for them. They needed that. He's gonna score the ball for them. He's got to work on some defense, but that.
We have our guest in the building today. He's been on here before, and he's back, man. He's back to talk some football, some basketball, and my guy, Mr. No Mercy Sports. What is up, my brother? What up?
Good.
Let me talk to you.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to hear what you want to say about I mean, I don't know if you watched much of the draft, but how did you feel how the draft went?
I mean, honestly, for me, it really wasn't too surprising when I got the notification that Victor Wembanyama, however you say the dude's
I think you
name.
said it right. Wembanyama or something like that.
Yeah, you said it right,
He
actually.
went to San Antonio. It's not too surprising at all. I mean, he's going into a great system with a great head coach and being a part of arguably one of the best basketball teams of our generation that we got to witness growing up.
So as far outside of Victor being drafted, as far as the first round go, a lot of like I just asked Bug not too long ago. He did a top 15 mock draft, and he got the players right, but the teams were wrong because so many trades happened.
Yeah,
so many trades happened. So outside of Victor, Brandon Miller, or even Scoot, we already knew that was the three in itself. What's out of you and Book? What players surprised you that fell in the team that they went to, or somebody's stock went up and they shouldn't even went that high? So who shocked y'all last night?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say the dude that really stole the show was Grady Dick going to Toronto, especially with the drip that he was walking with that night.
The drip was fire. The drip was fire.
Oh yeah. So it won't be any too surprising if he wins Rookie of the Year. I mean, the dude has got some of that charisma that honestly could make him the steal of the show.
Now, for me, I can say, Grady Dick going to Toronto. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. But the guy that fell for me that was surprising, I think everybody knows, Cam Whitmore from Villanova fell so tremendously. And I was really, really surprised about how he fell out of the top 15, he fell.
Right.
So I was really surprised about that. And then I was surprised about Jamie, what's his name? Jamie Juarez Jr. That's from UCLA that went to my Heat culture.
Man, that was huge.
Oh
man,
man,
we got to get it. I made the. I'm gonna just say it live. I need you to go ahead and clip that. D-Hop when I had called that, because that pickup is huge. I don't even think people not gonna realize it till I guess they see it, but that was huge for them.
I mean, Godfather doing what he does best, and that's seeing the diamonds in the rough, man.
Yes, absolutely. So what was that one? So outside of the guys that I named, Bug, who was some guys that
Howard.
We just talked about it.
Jet
Tracy
Howard.
Jackson Davis, another guy that went in the bottom of the second round. That was a top 15 pick. And I don't think he's going to the Wizards. I think they traded that to the Warriors as well.
Yeah. The Juwan Howard's son, Jet Howard, man, that kind of shocked me, bro. Like 11 pick. I mean, the Magic, don't get me wrong, and what they did makes sense, but I feel okay, if you was gonna go get a shooter, you should have wanted to go get Jordan Hawkins if you're gonna get a shooter. But maybe they seen something in him. I'm not really sure, but I didn't even expect him to go that high. Like maybe like in the 20s or something like that, mid 20s, early 20s, but 11th was crazy. I don't know. That was one that kind of shocked me. I didn't expect him to come to fall that high at all. Who else was a guy that was super low? I mean, of course, Whitmore.
Amani Bates was the one that definitely was
I expected
to go in the second round.
I expected Amani, and I was telling RC. That's why I told RC yesterday. I was like, he's going to get drafted. But when they were doing, I guess, and they were interviewing and talking to some of the people that were scouting him, they were just saying it's just off court stuff. He got caught with a gun and scraping the serial numbers off. He had a whole thing going on with that. You get what I'm saying? And that's like versus Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller still was high, but his situation was more of somebody he was with. So it's more like, okay, you surrounding yourself around the wrong people, wrong place, wrong time. You need to get together, surround yourself around the right crowd. You get what I'm saying? Amani Bates was more like, no, you have a gun, you scrape the serial numbers off, like you know, like they knew what it was. Because he was definitely a top 20 prospect. But that's why the Cavs, man, that was a big pickup for them, bro. That was a big pickup for them. I feel like that was exactly what they needed.
So I mean, because I know
yeah,
you did, I know you did a lot of work last night, Bug. Like you was on this live giving us, the players, weaknesses and strengths. You giving the height and the weight, or what type of player that you were getting. I don't think much of a recap we really need to talk about for real.
yeah,
For real.
not
If you
really.
want to look at the draft, the replay is on the channel. You get all your information from there because we're not going to go. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what was mad with the Charlotte Hornet fans when they was pissed off that they got Brandon Miller. They wanted Scoot so bad, and I was
They
supposed
were
to put the
pissed.
video up here, and I was not. I totally forgot to do it because I was, talking to Mercy like a half hour right before, and I was talking to my brother. We had our situation this morning, so I'm like, darn, I totally forgot about to put that, but they were so pissed that they got Brandon Miller, and
Man,
I don't understand why. I don't get it.
It's crazy. Go ahead, RC.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've seen fans that pissed since
RC, I
Nick
call him
fans
RC. I'm sorry, no
found
mercy.
out that they were getting Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. So RC said, guys, I found out really early this morning many teams were turned away by Whitmore's interviews is because they're concerned about Whitmore's medical history. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything. I don't know where you got the source from, but I haven't heard anything. I know.
But
RC,
I feel like
I'm not going to say that your source is not.
You had
I'm not
3 players. You still had 3 other players that had significant injuries. I'm talking about foot fractures. You get what I'm saying? And they still got drafted, bro. Like,
and what's the bald head guy name you talked about? That
Jordan Walsh, man.
Yes. He got drafted after he, passed out at the University of Florida. He found out he had some type of issue in his heart, and he was able to come back from it and get transferred to Kansas State and have a good next 2 seasons out. I mean, it's kind of remarkable, but I see why he fell down in the draft as well. I get that, but let's I know Mercy. He wants to get into the Chris Paul trade. He wants to get. He's eager to talk about it. You can just see it in his face. He's chilling. He can be relaxing and be whatever he wants. Be like, but I know he wants to talk about this Chris Paul trade. So I'm gonna let you have the floor on this one about Chris Paul being traded to the Warriors.
You got a dude that was basically Steph Curry before Steph Curry, and now him and Curry are on the same team. I mean, granted, the Warriors do need a big man, and they need that enforcer with Draymond Green declining that $27 million option. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, they definitely loaded up when going after Chris Paul. And, honestly, I think they are significantly heavy favorites in the West to challenge the Denver Nuggets. Now, again, teams are definitely going to have to try to get that big man to try to contain Jokic, but it's too hard right now because that man is just too good at what he's doing. But, man, Warriors got to steal, man.
My question to y'all is this: even though they got, they gave up a lot for Chris Paul, knowing that Chris Paul, what was in Washington for a short stint. He didn't play a game with them, but he was there. But to me, I feel like they gave up a lot of draft picks for Chris Paul. Now, how does this fit? Because I'm kind of nervous because Chris Paul's up there in his age. Yeah. The Warriors was considered one of the slower teams in the league due to the fact that they're aging with their core. And then you add a Chris Paul that's aging as well, and it's a little bit just as slow. Now, how this is going to work? Would you put Chris Paul in the starting 5 if they bring Draymond Green back? Because how Steph Curry, Clay, and Chris Paul plus a Draymond Green, and they still need a big man on top of that, which they did not address, in my opinion. So I just don't know how this is going to work. Steph Curry likes to have the ball in his hand. Paul likes to have the ball in his hand. Now, if Curry could go and back off without having the ball in his hand and move around without the basketball and have Chris Paul be the true point guard, then it might work. But I want to know your opinion on how y'all think this is going to work in Golden State, with this starting 5 now.
I mean, just like you said, That's what I've been picturing is Curry starting to play some two guard, and then that's what a big question is. Like, I guess they might be moving away from Clay, a possibility because it's like even when you just said that D-Hop him run, that's what he does is run off picks. So imagine him without out the ball doing that, just running around off double screens. And, like, bro, like I'm pretty sure that's gonna be tough to deal with. Like, and you got Chris Paul. He's already proved himself. He's a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm pretty sure they said they're gonna keep Kuminga. You got Wiggins. I mean that could be a problem.
Is Wiggins a free agent though?
Is he?
Because nobody really have talked about Wiggins this whole offseason. So if you what you could do is if you could keep Wiggins, but I don't want to replace Clay over Andrew Wiggins. You get what I'm saying? Like that's going to be tough for the Golden State Warriors.
Wiggins, he's on a 4-year.
Oh, he's on a 4-year deal. So you still keep Wiggins. So you want to that's going to be a small 4. That's gonna be a small 4. That's gonna be because Wiggins can't.
That's really why. Okay, I can see what No Mercy saying. They go get a big though. They go get a big. Yeah, but okay, so they don't pay Clay, and they don't pay Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or they get rid of Clay, don't pay Draymond. I mean, they got the money to go get something.
Yeah. I mean, every team in the West is going to definitely need a big man to try to compete with Jokic because that man's just on top of his game right now.
I feel like with the Golden State Warriors, I think they didn't give James Wiseman a chance.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Everybody says that.
I think they says that because I feel like Looney, because Looney was coming off the bench. Remember, he used to be a starter, and he came off the bench and he lost minutes. So you had Draymond as your 5, but you still had Looney. You still had Looney coming off the bench, and you barely see Wiseman come on the court. Only reason why you saw Wiseman majority of the time in his first year because Looney was hurt. Right. So when it comes down to that, I just feel like development wise, I think they was impatient with him. Because I understand you got him because he was a high draft pick, but I feel like you still have to. He still has to develop. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he was a rim protector. He was a big guy, and I think that would have helped him. I think they would have helped him with Looney and Draymond against the Lakers. If you want to be honest, he would have been another guy that would have helped them as far as defensively go. But the guards for the Warriors, I mean, these guards are getting bigger. They're getting bigger. They're getting faster, and they're getting younger. So if I'm Steve Kerr, you're gonna have to figure out a way to not have Chris Paul play less. He got to play less than 40 minutes to me.
Oh yeah,
he got to play less than 40 minutes. If you want to keep him healthy by the playoffs, you got to at least play him at least 25 minutes. At least 25 minutes.
I was gonna say, like, if he's okay playing the 6-man role coming off the bench,
then that's what I was nervous about with Chris Paul. Would you put him with the 6-man, let him run the second unit? Yeah, that would be that. I don't know if you want to win a championship, you're gonna have to make sacrifices, basically.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, somebody in Chris Paul's situation, even if I was in his situation, I'd be okay running the 6-man role and being the leader of that second unit.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side of things, the Wizards get Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from what I've seen, Jordan Poole has been in the gym this whole process. He's been in the gym. I mean, you add a Tyrus Jones, which is a very, very underrated guard to me. One of the best backup point guards in this league, in my opinion. You add a lot. When I say the Wizards have a bunch load of picks, oh my God! Then they went out and got Jarris Walker, if I'm not mistaken, Bud, who they got out in the draft.
Well, did they trade? Well, that I think
they got Bilal Colaby.
They actually traded.
They got Colaby from Indiana.
Yeah, they got Colaby. Yeah,
they got Colaby from Indiana, so they got a young core. So how do y'all feel about Jordan Poole?
So they
going to Washington, and even Kyle Kuzma even threw it out there and said he doesn't mind coming back to Washington, knowing that he declined that option. He don't mind.
And you got to think because now. I'm not
go
gonna
ahead,
lie.
bro. My bad.
My bad. I'm just looking at it. I was just thinking like Shamit. When I just seen Shamit pop up, and I just started to think like, boom, like they have key players now. If they got Shamit, if Kyle Kuzma comes back, Tyus Jones, who they still
Colby
got
and Jordan Poole.
Daniels. You get what I'm saying? Calaby, Jordan Poole, man, that's not a bad squad. That's not a bad squad. They just they might need like a little bit something else. Yeah.
And I think Jordan Poole is
That's
out to prove everybody wrong after all the scrutiny he got in the playoffs.
Right.
He's out to prove everybody wrong.
I honestly feel like it's about time. I mean, not saying it's about time he had his own team, but I just feel like the way that was going with Curry still kind of like, but in his prime, not in his prime, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like Curry's not on a decline. I don't feel like Jordan Poole is ever going to really be able to fully show his potential because you're going to have to still be behind Curry for so long. Then you bring in Chris Paul, so now it's like, damn, like, I'm about to be on the bench going to get even more deeper now, or it's just going to get crazy for him. So this gives him the opportunity to have his own team and actually show fully what he can do.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think they need to go out and go get a big man at this point. They got to find a big man. And I think they need to find a 4 as well because Kyle Kuzma can play that 3. Jordan Poole can play the 2. You got Tyrus Jones that can play that. Calaby. That's another reason of how you can mix and match this starting lineup up because Calaby coming over from Indiana. I mean, he was a double-digit average scorer, not 20 points a game, but he definitely give you 17, 18 points a night. With the Indiana Pacers. So I'm kind of looking forward to what this Wizards team is looking at. And they got a bunch load of picks going in to the next 2 to 3, next to the next 2030. They got picks all the way up to 2030. Like that's crazy.
And that's what I was. That's what I was telling.
All second round picks. There was a few first rounders, but majority of those was second round picks. So out of all this that went down. Out of the Washington, to me, y'all can say whoever won the trade. I don't care. Washington Wizards won this damn trade with all those draft picks. They won the trade.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, sir. No, sir.
They won the trade.
No,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
No, sir.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if it wasn't for Washington making that trade for Chris Paul to go to Golden State, that Bradley Beal trade would never happen.
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
But that's the crazy thing about it though. I feel like Houston killed the trade. I feel like Houston won. Houston won the draft. I feel like Houston won. All in all, Houston won.
NBA trades in general. I'm not talking about the draft at all. I'm just talking about the trade in itself.
Oh, this is trade. Okay. The trade.
If you look at the trade, right?
But can you say the Wizards lost?
No, because they won the trade.
They both have the same problem. But no, but they both have the same problem technically. Neither team has a big man, even with DeAndre Ayton. Like neither team has a consistent big man. Like so, it's still like iffy with them. That's why it's like a possibility they might ship him out. Either team still has to really search for that big man because if DeAndre Ayton doesn't come to play, that still doesn't work.
I can say that
still doesn't work. That doesn't work.
The Suns are going to keep DeAndre Ayton. My problem with the Suns is they don't have a bench outside of Cameron Payne. Can't really. What you're going to? You got Cameron Payne. You got a T.J. Warren. You don't know what you're going to get out of T.J. Warren, and then you got a Torrey Craig. You don't know what you want to get out of him. I'm not sold on Torrey Craig. I'm not sold.
Maybe they go get a Victor Oladipo or something.
After the injury that he just had in Miami. I'm nervous about that.
I mean, but I can't lie.
I mean,
only because I personally
really had was a slam dunk contest, and that was it.
I mean, but no, last year, he was actually on a roll. Like he was, and I get how everybody says like once you get injured, it's different. But he was getting back to that, like starting Victor Oladipo. I feel like he was getting back to that, that state, and then. Man, but I mean, because if you can take a shot,
it just kind of killed Victor out of Victor Oladipo's status in the NBA. It really kind of killed it because before he got hurt, he was one of the best guards in the league. He was named as one of the best guards in the league until he got hurt. And he ain't been the same since. Let's doing different teams.
I just feel like even the bench production that he showed for the Heat, man, like that's worth.
Listen, I agree. I want him to get back 100%, but I think now I think with the Washington Wizards, what they did, of course, they got rid of Bill, they got rid of Porzingis. I get it. I understand. They're your 2-star guys. Kyle Kuzma declined out of his option. I get it. But they went and got some quality players. You know, like I said, you just named them: Shamit, Bilal Colibin, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but you got some quality guys there, and you know they went younger. That's why they shipped Chris Paul out, because they went younger, and I like that. Even though say Boston won the trade because of Porzingis, I understand that 3 is going to be crazy in the East. It's going to be crazy now. Memphis got Marcus Smart with a John Morant that comes back after 25 games. I still think they need a guard for depth, in my opinion. I just think Memphis Grizzlies need a guard for depth, because Desmond Bane is the only true guard on this roster. If you look at their roster right now, outside of the draft picks that they just had in the NBA draft, I don't think they have any other guards that's noticeable that could add depth to their team. So a lot of things are shaking up. But I do like the Wizards winning it. The Wizards winning the draft for me. I think they built on the young quality core and to add more with the assets. But if you want to go player wise, star power, I mean, Boston might have won the trade with Porzingis going there. And then you could say Memphis probably won the trade getting Marcus Smart. Like, so everybody could say who won the trade, because I mean, I think everybody got what they wanted for real.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Ryan said, I thought Poole had a higher value. I mean, the only reason why that Poole got traded is not because of the player. It was his contract.
Yeah.
It was his contract, and I just felt like whoever, I forgot the GM's the last GM that was there for Golden State, I forgot his name, but it was too early to give Jordan Poole that contract. It was just too early, and then it was
wow. Oh, that's what you were saying. Okay, Jordan Walsh went to the Celtics last night. Yeah, he actually got traded to the Celtics. And the Bucks.
You know what? Who he reminds you of? Because he's a defensive player. Who he reminds you of? If you look at Wash game, he reminds you of a younger Marcus Smart defensively. If you look at it,
yeah.
So they kind of replaced, the Marcus Smart type of player. I don't think he's going to be Marcus Smart, but he would definitely be a Marcus Smart type of player.
But I can see what you're saying, yeah. So they still, that was big.
Yeah, that was big.
I did not know that happened last night. Okay.
Yeah, if you look back at it, a lot of trades via trades happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of via trades happen. So, and speaking of Porzingis going to the Boston Celtics, bro, how did you feel when you heard that news about Porzingis going to the Boston Celtics and Marcus Smart going to the Memphis Grizzlies?
Oh man, that was actually kind of shocking, because when I found out, and it was like a whole 3-team trade kind of thing, I was like, all right, well, the Memphis Grizzlies are definitely getting like a defensive guard, being Marcus Smart, and that's definitely going to help him out with John Morant serving his weak-ass suspension. But, I mean, the Celtics getting another big man to help him down low is definitely a great upgrade after trading away Smart to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I thought it was tough. I was like, wow. I was really shocked that they was moving Marcus Smart, but I understand why they did it, because they couldn't move Brogdon, because Brogdon was hurt with that hand or wrist injury or whatever it is. But he was hurt. And it was a wrist injury. And that's why they backed out of it, and then they came back to the trade, and they was like, "Oh, they got to take a risk," and they end up doing Marcus Smart. It sucks, because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown liked them, but hey, you got a Porzingis that's a big man. Now you can definitely put Al Horford on the bench and have Robert Williams and Porzingis in your 5. You know what I'm saying? So now it's going to look like, okay, who's going to be the point guard for the Boston Celtics? You got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Porzingis with Robert Williams and and Brogdon coming off the bench. But I still think they still need a point guard. I can't make Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum my point guard. I just can't.
Right.
I just can't. So somebody's going to. I don't know how Boston is going to do this, but they need. If you want to start Brogdon, I would not mind that. Brogdon is a starter in this league to me. I think Brogdon's a starter in this league to me. But I mean, he's been taking the back role when he was in Milwaukee, and now with the Boston Celtics. But if you look at those Pacer days with Malcolm Brogdon, the boy could have been an all-star. He could have been. So, I thought that trade. I was just shocked. I was just shocked about it. But okay. So now we know that Scoot Henderson is going to the Portland Trailblazers, and we know that Damian Lillard is not trying to be a part of a rebuild. And I get what Book was trying to say to me yesterday. If Portland Trailblazers go out and get Chris Middleton, knowing that he declined his $40 million contract and takes a pay cut, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I think Damian Lillard is not looking for a rebuild. So now, okay, I'm going to just throw this out there, and I'm going to just make a statement. Damian Lillard, you need to make up your goddamn mind at this point.
Yeah, first of all, yeah. Really,
you need to make up your mind. Do you want to win or not?
Yeah.
Because even though they have won and been to the playoffs in the last 8 years outside of last year, I get it. You want to bring some vets in. But now it's getting to a point where you say you want to be traded and you don't want to be traded. You don't want to be a part of a rebuild, but you're working out with Scoot Henderson. You need to make up your mind, bro. Like,
yeah, and he's constantly saying, he doesn't want to be a part of that whole super team thing.
How you don't want to be a part of super teams is just what it is in this league at this point.
It really is.
You just gotta deal with it. And you say you want to bring another superstar with you to Portland. Just imagine if you bring a third person over there to be with Scoot Henderson in this squad. You'll be fine. But we don't know what your mindset, what you want to do, because there's been rumors about he has not spoken to the GM or nothing of that nature. But it's time for you to make a decision. Do you want to be a part of this? Or you don't want to be a part of this? Because I'm going to be the GM, and I'm not waiting for Damian Lillard to come to me. I'm going to Damian Lillard like, listen, are you part of this, what we're trying to build here, or do you want to get shipped out and we get assets for you? Because that's what it is at this point. So,
clock's ticking, man.
Yeah, the clock is definitely ticking. So if he was requesting the trade, what destinations will fit Damian Lillard at this point? Knowing that the draft has happened. What destinations will fit?
I mean, honestly, I think
of course,
if Milwaukee could work something out, then maybe it's a possibility.
But Giannis and Dame? Oh my God.
Could do one.
See, as a Miami Heat fan, I don't want to hear that. As a Miami Heat fan, I don't want to hear that.
My first thing was the Heat, and then seeing.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't challenge the knowledge of Pat Riley because he's probably cooking.
I'll just say that Pat pulled the trigger, bro.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at Miami, right?
What?
If we're looking at Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Miami giving up? Because I'm a Heat fan. Listen, it could be tough for my Heat, man. It'll be tough to go get Dame. What we giving up?
I mean, maybe. That's actually, oh man, that'd be tough. Cause I mean, I probably would say, maybe Kyle Lowry, or do they still have Oladipo there?
Yeah, Victor Oladipo is still in Miami. He just got hurt in the postseason.
Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe
free agent coming up.
I mean, maybe you get rid of those two to bring in Damian Lillard because that dude can stay healthy and he can shoot the ball. You can guarantee at least 20-25 from him a night.
See, it's gonna be tough because people want to add Tyler Hero to the mix.
Right.
They want to add Tyler Hero, and me personally, I know Tyler Hero is coming off a hand injury, but the guy puts up numbers. Do you really want to lose that for an uncertain Damian Lillard? Because just imagine if he comes to Miami, right, and he said, it's not what he wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm really concerned about that. If we do get Damian Lillard, but we know Damian Lillard is one of those type of guys that he's very humble, but he's very stubborn. If that makes sense, he's a humble guy. He's a laid back guy, but at the same time, he's not like He's like, bruh, I want to get this done, but like, I don't know. I need to figure out what his sign is because he confuses the hell out of us sometimes.
I mean, he's from Oakland.
What about
we already know how hard-headed Marshawn Lynch is, being from Oakland too.
Yeah. I know that for a fact.
What about the move Duncan Robinson? Duncan Robinson, third, but he got a 5-year deal, but he's the fourth highest paid on the team. Him, I can see them moving him and Kyle Lowry.
Robinson over there. But
and you can move him, Kyle Lowry,
because you got to point there too with Duncan Robinson because he did make his value a little bit higher the way he played in these playoffs.
That he did.
They finally took him off the bench, and he in clutch moments, and see how he played even in the finals as well. Even though he didn't do as much, but he was good. He was efficient in the finals.
He made a big enough impact to do something.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Miami.
He got a little experience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can see Duncan Robinson going to Portland. I can see that. Him in school, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of some other teams that I can think of that's like actually, caliber. I mean, of course, people were saying Philly just in case if James Harden is not there. People were saying that. But I don't think that's going to happen because the 76ers didn't do nothing in this draft at all. We didn't have a pick in this draft. So that's another story for another time. We didn't trade Tobias Harris. We didn't do none of that. That's just Sixers are just being the Sixers at this point.
They stuck with Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler, which was ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think Tobias got like 2 more years left on his contract. And I think it's time to move him. It's time to move Tobias Harris.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to move him. But I'm trying to think. I can't really think of as far as winning like teams that was in the playoffs. I mean, what about New York? I mean, you trying to get rid of Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
You want him out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put Jalen Brunson and Damian Lillard in the backcourt in New York City. Do you know how bonkers that would be in Madison Square Garden every single night?
MSG would be sold out almost every single night if Dame came to.
That means I have to take a 2-hour ride just to go see that. I'll take a 2-hour ride to just go see that.
Facts. I'll be in the nosebleeds just to see that.
So the front runners now for him, dang, I hit it on the head. The front runners are the Heat. Go ahead, D-Hop.
You said that the Heat and who?
Oh, so you got the Heat there in the potential package is Damian Lillard and Kevin Knox for Duncan Robinson, Highsmith, Tyler Hero, and Joe Nicole, the guy they got, the new guy, and then the Nets. So they saying Dame and Nurkic for Ben Simmons, Claxton, and Cam Thomas. And they got 2 first rounds in there, and they got the. Hey! I got one for you though, D-Hop. This might strike you. What about the Celtics? Jaylen Brown and Gallinari for Dame.
But Gallinari got traded to Washington. Him and Mike Muscala was a part of that 3-team trade.
Oh wow, yeah, they was. He was.
So Gallinari's not there. So you could add Jaylen Brown, but who else? I mean, you could probably put Jaylen Brown and Grant Williams. Why not?
They got Jaylen Brown.
Get Grant Williams out of
round
there.
one.
He just got embarrassed by Hemi Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Grant Williams and Jaylen Brown would work because Mike Muscala got traded, and so did Gallinari. They got traded to Washington. So for Boston, I would pick a Dame Dollar over Jaylen.
Because you got it's the free agent, so you got. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
You have yourself a point guard, so
I just feel like the free agency is.
Yeah, free agent frenzy is going to definitely change a lot of things, and it definitely changed a lot now about a lot of guards. But I just feel like it's not really a lot of team destinations for Dame Dollar at this point due to the collective bargaining agreement, due to certain players in their contracts. It's a lot.
Especially
lot.
after the draft too.
The
'cause
Heat,
certain
the
teams,
Heat
they
is
just
only the
got
one I'm
players
kind of
that they needed.
halfway.
I think for real, I mean,
The Heat is the only team
Brooklyn
I
is
can
very
say.
interesting though. If you could keep Cam Johnson in Brooklyn
Yeah, Brooklyn.
with Mikal Bridges and Damian Lillard, you got something there. I'll go see that at the Barclays. I'll go see that. But I think New York
And
would be a good
I
fit
told
too.
you, man, he's the Knicks. Who they moved though? I mean, okay, well, I know they want to get away from Randall.
You can lose
That
Julius
would be okay
Randle.
to
Get
move
Julius
up.
Randle the hell out of here. Oh, I'm telling you, Bug. I don't know if you saw the videos, but they did have a whole poster of Julius Randle in New York, and they cut that bad boy down.
Oh, this crazy because in general, just from me just knowing, like, bro, you gotta think I was a Julius Randle, like when he first came out. I was like, oh, Julius Randle when he played for the Lakers, and I feel like you watched him develop, but at the same time, it's like as he
He got
developed,
lazy in
it's like
New
his
York. He
game
got
just
lazy.
kind of, yeah, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, he like one of them guys that he got content. I feel like he got content with just, okay, I'm a starter now. I can shoot threes. They was letting me dribble the ball for a minute and do a bunch of stuff before Jalen Brunson got here. Like, he just felt like he was that guy. And it's like, bro, you still got to come and give 110%, bro. Like,
Yeah, you still got to put that work in.
I can see them moving it. And matter of fact, I like that D-Hop because they got some guys. Quentin Grimes. They got some guys they could try to throw in there probably to
quickly. That New York would be good, but this might be another one. What about a reunion in New Orleans with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard?
CJ?
Ooh, yeah.
In New Orleans, I mean, you might have to give up Brandon Ingram in this situation. You might have to do it, but I kind of like the tandem, with CJ McCollum and Damian.
Or they ship off Zion
each other, man.
Yeah, there you go. They ship
because
out
when I was
Zion.
reading about them, bro, they're not.
Get his ass out of there.
Yeah, they don't want to move.
I get that.
They don't want to move from Brandon.
Okay, so you ship out Zion and who else?
I've been reading them.
You ship out Zion and who else?
They give up maybe her. I mean, I'm pretty sure they should have some first rounds. I feel like they may get the Herb in there. Ooh, that is tough. That's tough. But I feel like Zion, Herb, maybe a couple first round picks is enough. From what I've been seeing, picks gonna get it done this year.
With CJ Cullen, Brandon Ingram, and Dame, you got your three. You got your three, or what you could do is keep Dame in Portland and still make that trade with the New Orleans Pelicans and find a way to get Brandon Ingram or Zion to Portland. You could find that way. You could do it that way.
Or maybe
you might have to give up some assets for Portland. You might have to give up some assets for Portland, but hey, you still have a Jeremy Grant and Nurkic over here. You just got to add another player. You don't really need 2 or 3 players. You got Scoop that's already playing at the NBA level, playing with the Ignite in the G League, so he's already playing with the grown men. So you just really need to add another veteran to go with these guys with Damian Lillard.
I mean, in my honest opinion, right, maybe San Antonio emerges as a dark horse.
But you know what? That's a sleeper one. You know what? One thing about the Spurs, they don't say much, but they do a lot.
Exactly.
They don't say much, but they absolutely do a lot. That's one thing I could say about the San Antonio Spurs. But having Victor and Dame, and you go get some other players. If you could go find some other vets to go join Dame into San Antonio, yo, we looking at another.
I mean, just so we on the topic of Dame, I gotta throw. What about Damon DeRozan
in Chicago?
Damon DeRozan, not that Damon DeRozan.
I get it.
That might not.
But it's not.
I mean, but what do they have though?
Chicago.
Yeah, they don't really have.
Luka Doncic is a free agent, and he's soft as tissue. And then you got a Kobe White that's not really lived up to his potential coming out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then Lonzo is done. He might not go play another game.
He's done. Stick a fork in.
Yeah, they just announced it yesterday that he's out. He's not going to play again.
I think Lonzo just should retire. It's unfortunate. It just reminds me of Jay Williams all over again.
Yeah.
It sucks because he's talented. It just it sucks.
He was a big defensive asset, and it really does suck hearing that it's like, you know, he's done. Like, he can't play anymore. Like, it really does suck because, man, he, like, what he lacked in shooting, he definitely made up for.
He improved. Yeah, he improved his shooting, man. He was a great defender, and I hated his form at one point. I hated it, but he got better at it. But his injury, it killed that. RC, we
what
already
about
said
Dame in
Boston.
Boston?
I would like to have Dame. I would like to have Dame with the Clippers than I have him with the Lakers.
I rather. I mean, but in anything, you got to be realistic. I think Dame. We got to look at playoff teams. I think we just got to basically even structure that as so like I'm thinking about like Philly, Miami, because he wants to play with a vet. He wants to play with a contender.
Yep.
So like Philly, Miami, and on the other side, like who could you possibly maybe throw? Like,
I mean, you got the Clippers, you got
New
the
York.
Lakers that both made the playoffs. You got New York that made the playoffs. You got Cleveland that made the playoffs.
Yeah, but the thing about the Clippers is that health is their biggest concern because their two main guys have been injured.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
The entire time that they've been there.
He gonna go there and never get a chance to play with Kawhi.
And that's when it comes in that you're gonna have to trade one of them. And the one that needs to be traded is Paul George. Get a Paul George. Take Paul George in Portland and send Dame to LA. What's wrong with that? or vice versa. You can still keep Dame there and send Paul George to Portland for some assets. But like we all said, if Paul George can stay healthy, I think that Portland would be good with that. B-Town Breakdown, shout out to you. You talk all Boston sports. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel, B-Town Breakdown. Darion, is the Warriors dynasty window closing or are they still in the hunt? I think he's still in the hunt. I think they still would make the playoffs this year. I think they could get back to the Western Conference Finals. They just got to find themselves a true big man outside of Draymond Green. That's the only thing they really missing. And, of course,
with the addition of CP3, like that has their window still slightly open, but at the same time, I think it's closing.
Yeah, it's closing. It's closing. I think it will close after this year.
Yeah,
because you have to see if Steve Kerr is going to re-sign because he's on the last year of his contract. Clay is on the last year of his contract.
Yep.
And Curry's still going to want to win, so he's going to try to find some younger players that he could play around. And because Steph Curry ain't going nowhere, he's going to end his career as a Golden State Warrior. Simple as that. He's not going anywhere.
Like the Chicago Bulls documentary this year,
Last Dance.
Year for the Warriors, it's the last dance.
Yup. So I think the window is closing, but this, as of right now, no. I think Chris Paul gets his championship. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I think Chris Paul gets his championship and he retires.
Yeah.
And then we can have all these questions about, what's going on with Clay, what's going on with Steve Kerr. And another question is Draymond Green is going to re-sign back. That's another thing.
Yeah.
And I think he will because Jordan Poole is no longer there. I think he will.
Yeah. Especially after that incident. Ooh.
Oh, the sucker punch.
Yeah.
not the sucker punch, but I wanted to get into some fact or fiction segment in the NFL. Now, it's 3 facts or fiction questions that I have, and I thought they was pretty intriguing questions when I sent them to y'all. And fact or fiction here is Josh Allen not win the AFC East this year? Fact or fiction? Will Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, will they win the AFC East this year? Fact or fiction?
I say fiction. There's too much talent in the AFC East right now.
You said, hold up, you said fiction?
The Bills winning the East?
Yeah, the AFC
East? No, I don't see that happening, especially with the Jets recently acquiring Aaron Rodgers.
In a way, especially a way the Miami Dolphins have, loaded up this year too.
Exactly.
I think it's fiction as well. I'm gonna say fiction for the Buffalo Bills. For me, I might have to go along with Max said in a previous show that the Buffalo Bills might be the last team in this division. They might be. It's going to make me go to my next factor fiction here. If they go get a Patriots go get a Dalvin Cook and they go get a D-Hop, I'm saying, Buffalo Bills is in trouble. The Buffalo Bills are in trouble. So for you, both fact or fiction, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will win the AFC East.
You know I go fiction, man.
Listen, I gotta get your input. I know you're a Dolphins fan, but I gotta get your input as well, bro.
Nah, I mean, and then only because like, don't get me wrong. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Dolphins have a better chance at competing in the AFC East with Skylar Thompson than they do Tua.
But I just feel like I'm backing
up with this one.
The things the Bills got going on with Stephon Diggs, and you know, if you don't have him, who are really your receivers? Who Josh Allen really gonna throw the ball to? You get what I'm saying? The defense. I'm not saying that they're bad. It's just their health. You get what I'm saying? We talk about their health and stuff. So it's just like your best cornerback. You get what I'm saying? And then so if he's not healthy, Kyrie Elam, people like him, are you gonna really get that production out of him this year? I just feel like they got a lot of things they got to figure out this year. And you got a lot of teams already like us, like the Jets. Like we coming to play. We don't really got to figure too much out besides like what we need to do on the field. They got a lot of extra stuff going on right now. So I would definitely go fiction. Besides the fact that, you know, we going to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. I'm calling it here now.
Well, B-Tail Breakdown has something to say. He said, fiction, the Patriots is winning the division, mother effer. Yo, I love that guy, man. I love that guy, man. He took all Boston Twins. I love that guy.
Good chance.
Man, it's crazy. People sleep though. The Patriots have a deep DB core. Their cornerback locker room is crazy. Like I like cornerbacks, kind of how we are. It's a lot of corners. Even when we talk about the Jets, I didn't even think about that. Like we got a lot of cornerbacks over here. A lot of cornerbacks. It's gonna be tough to throw the ball.
So the next factor fiction that I have here is that the Patriots need. I'm gonna put that in caps. The Patriots need to sign DeAndre Hopkins. Is that fact or fiction?
I go fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fact too. Like you need a wide receiver that's really gonna help you with your passing game.
I'm gonna say fact because of this. Now you put a wide receiver that's very serious about the game. Yep. You put him on the opposite side with Juju Smith-Schuster, with Mike Gesicki, and Hunter Henry. Absolutely, this is a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Oh, here we go.
D-Hop gets to play with a quarterback that actually wants to practice versus practicing Call of Duty.
Or practicing TikTok.
Exactly. I mean, sure, Juju's going to do some TikToks, but at the same time, you know, Belichick going to keep Juju in check.
Look, he talking trash. He said, "Don't get me wrong, Ducey's pretty cool, but F the Dolphins."
So you gotta think. So look, the Patriots, they lose Jacoby Myers in free agency. They go replace him with Juju Smith. They pick up Gesicki, which I feel like people are sleeping on right now. Like they kind of sleeping on Gesicki and Hunter Henry. They got James Robinson.
What do you want?
Yeah, they got James Robinson. Their line is not bad. It's just they don't have. It's like they don't have. I told you,
they don't have James Robinson. You know what's funny about that? They don't have James Robinson anymore. They released him.
They released him.
They released James Robinson.
So you have Ramondre Stevenson. Is he gonna be enough for them? You get what I'm saying? Like, man, even releasing him, that's tough, bro. Like, what is their identity?
We got AFC East people in this chat right now saying the New York Jets are winning the AFC East. That's a fact. Patriots need D-Hop. He will sign. It takes me back to another. We still in the AFC East as well, though.
Yeah. I mean, forget the NFC East. The AFC East is the AFC beast.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last factor fiction is this is all in the AFC East as it says. Do the Jets need to sign Dalvin Cook? Fact or fiction? Just imagine if they did, though.
I mean, not really though. I can. Go ahead.
I
Mercy.
think if they signed Dalvin Cook, he'd probably have to be okay being the second running back because you already know Breece Hall is their guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say fact, and I'm gonna say why. They don't have a lot of veterans at the running back position in New York.
Yeah, because the last veteran they had was LT.
Exactly. So you go get a veteran running back like a Dalvin Cook that has great 6 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings. You got a Breece Hall coming off of an ACL injury. You don't know how 100% he's going to be.
Yep,
of course, you got Michael Carter Jr., which is a guy that came out of, I think it was North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Another guy that's still young in this league. And you add a Dalvin Cook to the depth that you have. Hell yes. Hell yes. That's a fact for me. But I would not be surprised if the New England Patriots go after Dalvin Cook as well. I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
So, book, fact or fiction? Dalvin Cook needs to sign with the New York Jets. Fact or fiction?
I go fiction too, and just like No Mercy said, he kind of took words on my mouth. I just feel like Breece Hall was their guy. You get what I'm saying? Even when they had James Robinson, even when they were loaded at running back, it was like he was still that guy, and he proved himself. He just went down with an injury. I think they let him come back this year, and you know what I'm saying? Just get back into the work of things. They got at least. I think they got Michael Carter. They got running backs. But they don't have a veteran. I can't say that, but I don't think they're really looking for a veteran running back. You just picked up Aaron Rodgers. You kind of got enough veteran influence on your offense that you need. You go get Randall Cobb. I think I go fiction. I don't think they need him.
All right, so that's our little segment that we have with fact or fiction. I'm gonna have more definitely on Monday. I cannot wait to do the show on Monday because a lot of things went left field for me to not get these topics together. But I'm gonna say this for this NFL thing right here. Who has the best rivalry in the NFL right now? You have every division that has rivalries, but who has the best rivalry right now as of today? Or has as a matter of fact, let's go as of last year, or I won't even say last year. I'm just gonna say in history. Past and future. You could do that. Past and future. Who has the best rivalry right now in the NFL?
I mean, I'm gonna say as for right now, it's, in my opinion, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs, just because of how many times they've met, both in the playoffs and regular season, and what the outcome has been. But I would probably say all time, Bears Packers.
I say Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Cleveland, Cincinnati? No.
No.
Not probably this year it might be. Probably this year it might be if you get a full-time Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so you going all time.
Anything.
But see, we say okay, y'all going all time. I'm thinking more of this year, we're talking about
this year. I mean, you could do all time and as of right now. It's one rivalry that y'all have not said, and I'm surprised. Y'all not thinking about Dallas and Philadelphia? Y'all not thinking about Eagles and Dallas right now?
That's how I was saying. I want to say Dallas. Dallas, they get it worse. I call them the Cowgirls, and I don't even not like Dallas.
Or is the rivalry between the fans? That's the thing. I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to
Oh, and then it's crazy
here with
it's
Bengals.
Crazy you said that. I seen a meme.
You seen a meme?
Bears and Green Bay. I seen a meme about about Philly and Cowboys. That it's I guess a lot of Cowboys fans just randomly in Philly. They was like, they just like ran. It'd be so many random Cowboy fans. It was like a long time ago. I had just seen it. I was like, I never knew. It was weird. It was like you would just be walking through Philly. You might meet a random Cowboy fan, like really a diehard Cowboy fan, but he was raised in Philly. It is like they have a lot of those. They said they got a lot of those in DC too, where the Commanders are at. Just like a lot of Cowboys fans up that way. I wonder what.
See, with me, I live here. I live in Philly. I see this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Philly fans do not care they do not care who you love. They're gonna try to force you to be an Eagles fan. They will try to force you to be an Eagles fan. And I went to the draft when the draft was here in my Raider gear, and Eagles fans wanted to fight. They are.
I'm surprised you didn't have a fight.
They are delusional.
They are.
You should be coming down here with that gear, especially if you see somebody in the Cowboys gear, especially if you got like a Deion Sanders or a Troy Aikman or Emmitt Smith. Yeah, they will argue you to the core with Eagles fans. Dallas fans are they okay. I can't stand up to a point where they feel like they're going to the Super Bowl every year. They say, "Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl every year."
Yeah. Don't forget they constantly throw we still got 5 rings. Yeah, congratulations. 30 years ago.
Right. Right. So I feel like you still, of course, you have the Packers, Bears.
Mm-hmm.
You have Eagles, Dallas. You, of course, as of right now, Chiefs and Bengals. If you look at those games in the last 3 to 4 years, you at the edge of your seat in them games.
Yep. Even Chiefs, Bills.
Yeah, Chiefs, Bills too. I think they all in that same realm. Like you could put the Bengals with the Bills and the Bengals with the Chiefs, or the Chiefs with the Bills. It's all in that same realm. It's all in that same realm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other rivalries that I've seen that I could talk about.
I mean, you of course have Giants, Eagles.
Yeah, you have Giants, Eagles. Of course, the miracle with Deshaun Jackson.
we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about
The
that.
miracle.
I unfortunately witnessed that.
Oh, the debacle in the Meadowlands. I'm trying to think of some other rivalry. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all might not think this is a rivalry, but it is. Raiders Chargers. That is a rivalry in itself. Raiders. I think it's either Raiders Chargers or Raiders Denver. One of those two. But as of the last 3 years, we have swept Denver, so I really can't say that. But if you look at the last 2 to 3 years, when we played the Chargers, all of those games came down to the wire. Now I know we don't have a rivalry with the Chiefs because the Chiefs is a landslide on us and beating us in the division. we know that for a fact. But when we play them Chargers, when we play them Lightning Bolts, when we play them Apple Chargers, yes, we play them. We play them. It's a real true rivalry between us and them. I can say that. Yeah. At one point, Patriots Colts.
Yeah.
Patriots Colts was a good one. Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning in those AFC Championship games or playoff games. Oh my God!
How the hell has this not been brought up yet? Steelers, Ravens. That is just an absolute slugfest rivalry.
Yes, that's definitely a slug. I mean, even when Tom Brady was there, when you had the Chiefs and Patriots, they was going at it in the playoffs too. You know, when they said Patrick Mahomes couldn't beat Tom Brady, he couldn't get over the hump long as Tom Brady is there. That was the narrative that was going around for so long. B-Town Breakdown is hilarious. He's going to say the Cowboys is like a wet fart, funny at the beginning and miserable. Yo, I can't with him, yo. I can't.
Wow, that ain't the most accurate thing I've heard about the Dallas Cowboys.
That's 1,000% accurate. 1,000% accurate. So yeah, when it comes to those rivalries, we see new rivalries, coming apart. Now we get to see how this NFC North is going to, look up now. You know, you had the Ravens and the Steelers. That was one rivalry that we saw back in the day. Oh, if we want to talk about back in the day with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Raiders back in the day in them 70s, we hated the Steelers, man. We hated the Steelers.
Man.
That freaking immaculate catch. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
One thing about our Raiders, we always on the bad end. One thing about our Raiders, we always on the bad end of shit. We had index cards, we had tuck rule, we had we just been on the bad end of the stick with the immaculate reception. It goes on and on. It goes on and on with my Raiders here. But how do y'all feel about
just can never catch a break?
How y'all feel about Sean McDermott getting his extension in Buffalo? That one, Niners Raiders Battle of the Bay. That was a good one too. That was not the Battle of the Bay anymore. I kind of missed that rivalry in a way. I kind of miss it.
Oh yeah.
But Sean McDermott getting his extension, according to NFL.com, he says that now they saying that they signed it. Coach Sean McDermott and the general manager Brandon Beane to a contract extension to 2027 season. The team announced it Friday that the extension had been done for some time. The NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported that it will properly compensate both McDermott and Beane for their accomplishments to this point. The new deals will link their contract duration as the same timeline, which also happens to be in the year of the quarterback's contract, Josh Allen, who will be the last beyond the opening. Of course, you know, the whole new stadium they were talking about. I don't know the numbers for, you know, how much he's getting, but do you feel like that was the right thing to do for Buffalo to keep McDermott, you know, as their coach extension to 2027? Well, you're quiet over here. What are you going on?
Nah, I'm looking at they just dropped the summer league schedule, so I'm just checking it out.
Oh, that which is the summer league still? What's that start in July, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Wow. But how y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about McDermott's extension, though?
I mean, it's definitely a good move because you still have a young head coach coaching a young, very talented quarterback, but they just got to get over all the humps that are in the AFC.
And look at this guy, finally here after we went through all the damn topics damn near. But I understand you're working. I get it, man.
Listen, bro. All I'm gonna say is that's one of 6 today. You know what I'm saying? Making that money. You know what I mean?
So I'ma just say this on record. I said I still feel like the Washington Wizards still want to trade when it comes to a lot of these trades that happen with all them assets. But knowing we did one round of the draft, which almost was like 4 hours. That was terrible. How that is when it comes to that. Who won the draft, and who you felt like was a surprise, and who you felt like they stocked Rosen, but it shouldn't have, you know, rising to that top, you know, like the Jeff Howards of the world.
Honestly, like Houston. I feel like Houston did a great job in the draft last night. It was super underrated, the guys they pulled in, like, and then getting Whitmore. Oh my goodness. Come on now. That was hot. Now, again, the Wizards. I feel like the Wizards did a good job too. Like, especially where they were at. Now, a lot of people are a little upset about the Walker thing. Like, you know, we took the French guy, but it's like his ceiling seems a little higher. I understand he's raw. After watching his film and getting more information about him, I still can't pronounce his name right, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to try to butcher his name.
We was butchering names like crazy last night.
I know. And then I'm trying to think who picked up Najee, James Najee or Naja.
I thought it was Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was Atlanta. He was the first pick. He was the first pick in the second round. I think he was one of the first picks in the second round.
Dude, I think the second round there was a lot of sleepers in this draft that got pushed to the second round, and I think we were all a little baffled by that last night. But I mean, like, OKC had to trade with the Mavericks. The Mavericks had a decent draft. Like I'll give them that. They had a decent draft. I don't know if it's enough that you really put enough around Luka and there, but we'll see. We'll see how the young guys develop. Overall, I mean, it was fun. It was fun last night, man. It was fun. And then waking up this morning to really look at the second round, it was for the majority.
A lot of those second round draft picks, they could have been first round draft picks for real.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, the teams that drafted for need, I feel like even some of the best of them did okay. But now I will say this: I'm going to ring the bell for one team and say that they won the draft. It's Detroit. Detroit.
You know what?
Look at their picks. Look at their picks. Look at their picks.
You know what?
Look at their picks. I put it all together.
Charlotte actually ended up getting James Nodges. Charlotte picked him up actually.
Oh, with him and Brandon Miller. But
that's what I was looking at this morning. So the Hornets had decent, like they definitely did decent, but I feel like Detroit kind of stole a lot of guys.
Yeah,
like they did, like that was thievery, man. That's all it was, man. It was beautiful. And then to remember now, that's a Monty Williams Detroit that we're talking about here. That's fucking spicy, bro.
You know what? We were just talking about teams that Dame Lillard can get traded to. Now, the way that culture is setting up right now in Detroit, Dame going to Detroit with these younger guys, with Monty Williams as that coach, the Detroit Pistons will be ready to win, not win the East, but be in the playoffs at least. Be in the playoff. They'll be a playoff team if they go out and get a Dame Lillard in the trade. Or I mean, you can send some of those guys. You can send up. See, Detroit's a little bit young, so I think Dame not going to go for that. But Dame would go with if they could get some other. I think some other veterans is under there too. I just don't know who at this point. But I like Dame in Detroit. That would be crazy with Monty Williams as the coach. And we slept on Detroit, and I keep forgetting that Monty Williams is there. I keep forgetting that. So I get it. I get it. I'm waiting for Mac to come back because I definitely want to get his fact or fiction.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I gotta type a couple things in real quick here.
That's the life of a manager. You know what I'm saying? That's the life of a manager. You know. So with me, I'm sitting here like, Detroit could be that team. But Mercy, I didn't get your thought on this, even though that Chris Middleton, opt out of his $40 million contract. And me and Bug had this conversation yesterday where Chris Middleton might land up. Because for me, I think he stays in Milwaukee and takes a pay cut. But what teams do you see Chris Middleton possibly getting looked at to be going once free agency starts?
Oh man. I mean, maybe Miami, because they do need another big guy. I mean, if Chicago's willing to give something up, maybe they send him there. Because I'm like, these are definitely teams that kind of fit his style of play. Like he's that under the radar defensive enforcer. Like he's not on the radar as much as Draymond Green is, but he can come through and help you get some critical points, play some crucial defense down the stretch. So me being a Bulls fan and knowing how good defensively they are, maybe something gets worked out. Maybe Spoelstra would love to pick his mind and see, like how he would want to do things. But right now, I mean, I can't really think of any other teams. Maybe the Lakers try to work something out to land him.
You wouldn't think if it would make Dame stay if they try to sign him in Portland?
Yeah, I could see that.
I think if you could bring Chris Middleton over there and now you got a young Scoot,
Yeah.
I think you could work. I think you could work something out. I think
Mm-hmm.
you work something out.
Yeah.
So so James Najee is going to be like Clint Capella. I think he's going to be a little bit better than Clint Capella though. See, Clint Capella is only a pick and roll alley-oop dunk type of guy. I think Clint Capella, he just that's what kills.
That's what you guys. That's what they gave him shades of though. That's crazy that whoever said RC hit that dead on the head. That's exactly what they gave him shades of was Clint Capella.
And I think Clint Capella could develop his games in so many ways. I just don't think he wants to. I just don't think he wants to because I could think he could. He's athletic enough to play his back to the basket. He could learn a mid-range shot, but he just want to be in the pick and roll and get alley oops all day and get rebounds. I understand the rebound part because he does get rebounds. That's a given. We all know that he's a monster, on the boards. But Clint Capella, offensively, he could be so much better. How can you have 20 boards with like 2 points? Like I just can't. I don't understand that.
Maybe he wants to be the next Dennis Rodman.
That's the part I don't get with Clint Capella.
A few years ago, I thought he was going to be the shit when he he really started. Like he had a couple seasons there where it looked like he was going to break the mold, man.
And that's what I thought. But he's a pick and roll guy that rolls to the basket. Reminds me of a DeAndre Jordan in some ways. But DeAndre Jordan, he was a dunk type of guy. He was an alley-oop type of guy. But back to the basket, he had the height, he had the strength, but he just didn't have no true, real offensive arsenal. And that's what Clint Capella don't have right now is a true offensive arsenal at this point. But
I will say though, Clint Capella is definitely he's a good stretch and he's decent at defending.
Yes,
for sure.
For sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you're looking just for a guy who can get in, going to get you some hard points as far as down in the paint, rebounds, second chance points. He's great for that. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's all about the system you put him in, bro. To be honest with you, that's how I feel about a lot of these guys.
So RC makes a comment here, and he said, "What y'all think about Houston's big man, Alper Sengun? I don't know if I said his name right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. He's a forgotten man in Houston now. Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., also Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Cam Whitmore. They are loaded in Houston.
I don't feel like he's a forgotten man though, because he kind of has stuff. He is a key part of that offense. Him being as versatile as he is, being able to play out the pick and roll. He got some footwork. He can shoot a little mid range. Like he is a key piece of why they were all right. He's a key piece of that offense. They kind of have to.
Now that the draft is over and we see where the young guys went, do you think it would help or hurt Houston if they were to go get James Harden?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say.
And I'm happy you said that because the crazy part is, and I know everybody gonna jump on my back, but I'm gonna tell the truth. It could help. I'm gonna say why though. Because it depends. Because now you have enough. Now you have enough to give something up, or first he's a free agent anyways, or he could, so they could just sign. They have enough money to sign him. But when you bring him in with somebody like he got an Amin now, he got, Sengun. The bench will be pretty deep with some young guys. You might could bring one vet in there. I feel like that would be a team. You got Eason now, Tyree. Jabari, all right. He didn't give them a lot last year, but I feel like that would kind of be all right. That's a supporting cast, especially with bringing Amin in.
True guard for this Houston team.
But then you can let guard. But Kevin Porter Jr. is a guard. Kevin Porter Jr. is not bad.
If you could bring in a Fred VanVleet over a James Harden, I would do that over James Harden.
But that's not going to make them. I don't think that would take them over the top like that. And then you would still have.
But you think James Harden will?
Yeah, most definitely. When you put him back into that role, like you're playing two now, we're coming to you, we give you the ball, we need threes, you do your little size up move, But now you're not having to be the point guard, bring the ball down, set up the offense. You don't really have to do that. You could kind of going back into the road that everybody complained about. Like this only thing with James Harden.
James Harden is not
When he was playing,
a fast break type of guard.
when he was scoring 60 points a game and whatever, everybody said that wouldn't work. When he came to Philly and literally changed his game around, double doubles every game, average double 2 seasons back to back. Now everybody's saying, "Oh, we need the Houston Harden back." Okay, well let him go back to Houston and be that guy then, because it's not going to work in Philly with Joel Embiid.
So
that just how I look at it.
On it is again in my Wizards group, they were talking about Houston. A couple guys were like, "Yeah, they felt like Houston was one of the better teams that won in the draft," and a couple people brought up Harden, and again, they said, well, it depends how you use him. And one of my guys on there, like, well, look, if you literally let Harden, slow dribble it down, everybody else is going to be fast. Everybody else, so most of the attention is going to be on Harden, and you got plenty of guys on that Houston team that are running gun. You tell me he comes up, he's going to pull up on a three. He gets that fake action and bam, pass. And he can do that. Harden can do that. Now, is he going to give you the best defense? Probably not. But now you have guys that can make up for his bad defense. You put him in that zone defense in Houston, and they're still going to be okay. Literally, he's going to have a 6 feet width. That's all you got to guard. They get past you, that's fine. We're going to play help defense. You'll be okay. But, I mean, I went from thinking like, it's going to be tough to now, like looking at the pieces that are there. That'd be a decent veteran addition for them guys now. Now that he doesn't have to carry the ball all the time, but he could, and that makes it dangerous. Now again, it depends what Harden actually wants to come play. But even if we get what he was playing like in Philly with those young guys, I still think he could thrive like hell. Because imagine having 4 Maxis out there.
That's exact. Damn, Mac, you took it right on my mouth. That's basically what it'll be now. Now he got all the guys play like Maxi, all that quick first step, explosive. All the guys are like that now. Everybody on the team will be like that.
And that's it. Like it's not like you literally like you have 1 or 2 guys on the court that you can really count on. Like you got all these young guys, and they're all going to be coming to show out. Especially if James Harden's really the only veteran on the team. Oh hell yeah!
I'm not a big fan of James Harden going there because I get it, but I just think he slows down the game a little bit too much for me. Knowing that you have a high octane offense and you want to put him, especially if he's going to play the point guard position, he's not going to get out in transition. I'm sorry, James Harden is just not one of those guards that's going to get out in transition. So that's just my personal opinion on it. I still think they're good with the core they have, and you made Udoka is a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need a James Harden there to get them over the top because you made Udoka is already an accomplished coach in himself. So I feel like you need to build on what you have in Houston and go get you a younger vet that's been in the league about what? 3 years, 4 years.
No,
you go get a veteran guard that you can know that could play the style that Ime Udoka is going to play. Because James Harden is not going to want to play the way Ime Udoka is going to want to play. I'm telling you that right now. He's not going to. He don't like hard-nosed coaches. James Harden do not like hard-nosed coaches. He doesn't.
So then they need to go get a veteran like a PJ. You got to have a veteran that team is so young. They need a veteran. I said,
where did they go get Damian Lillard?
But
he gonna want some vets.
Dame's not going to
want vets.
But that's why I said if you could go get a Fred VanVleet that could push the ball up in transition, that could shoot the three, that could play defense, you got yourself an actual guard that could run with these cats. I wouldn't mind a Fred VanVleet going to Houston. He might not get the max where he want, but I do like the veteranship, and he's an NBA champion. Something Harden is not. He played Harden. You can say Harden played with Kevin Durant. He played with Fred VanVleet. Played with Kawhi Leonard. He played with Pascal Siakam. Nick Nurse was his coach. They won a championship there. He played behind Kyle Lowry. He played with some veterans.
Yeah.
He could definitely come in and be a leader in Houston over James Harden for me. And I'm not saying that because I don't like James Harden. I'm just saying if you want to get Houston to the next level, you want to put a championship veteran behind that young core.
Yeah. I mean, and Van Vliet can just pull up and shoot it.
Right. And I think right now, if these younger guys was all not on Houston as we can say, and they went out and got some other veterans to go with James Harden, then we can have a different story.
Yeah.
But this is a young crew right here that's still trying to, be in continuity with each other. And you just need a guard that can facilitate to them. I mean, Harden can be a facilitator, but I just think up tempo, the way Ime Udoka probably want an up tempo offense. I don't think Harden don't fit that. But that's a good question though, Mac. That's definitely a good question though. I'm not gonna lie because, I mean, there's other places that Harden can go outside of going to Houston. I understand he wants to go back to Houston because that's where majority of his career was, where he had all his accolades.
LA wouldn't be a bad move.
You said
I don't think LA would be a bad move.
You said LA would be a bad move?
I don't think LA would be a bad move.
What? Clippers or Lakers?
The Lakers.
I don't think he could play. I don't think Harden can play with LeBron. I don't think so.
I think he could.
Not,
and then especially
not the way Harden, not the way LeBron James is a coach on that floor. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
If you're not in the right
that's
position,
why people Harden has this that's why I just hate how people do my boy. It has never been anything of Harden being a knucklehead. Now maybe him partying or stuff like that, but it hasn't been a thing of Harden being a hard teammate to get along with.
I'm just saying Harden likes to play a certain way. You know what I'm saying? He likes to play his own style. And
most definitely.
He likes to play his own style, but I think the way the Lakers is set up, they play a team game to a point where if Harden wants you there, you go there. If you're not going to go there and not listen to LeBron James, it's not going to work. Why do you think they having a frustration with AD right now?
Yeah, but see, I think that's because AD is soft. I think people are under the impression that at the end of the day, right now, and I'm saying this as a fan and as just basketball, James Harden knows he needs to win. Point blank period. He knows he needs to win to solidify his, even as much as I argue with you, D-Hop, to solidify how good of a player, how great of a player he is, he has to win one. He has to. I feel like he has to. So I feel like that's why I mentioned
that means he has to take a step back from his role.
But that's what I'm saying.
Trying to be a star player.
But that's why I mentioned teams like the Heat, the Lakers, because he's going to have to get into first of all, he's going to have to get into the role. He's got to go to a team where you're not that guy. Like even to a certain extent, with Joel being so hurt, it still kind of gave him the power. Like you can kind of still be that guy. Like Maxey was coming up and stuff, but he was still that guy. He goes to the Heat, you have to fall in line. Jimmy Butler, you get what I'm saying? You still got even role players that have showed up in the playoffs, have went further than you. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like those are teams so that's why I mentioned teams like the Heat and the Lakers. He needs to go to one of those organizations with one of those, with a LeBron or with a Jimmy Butler. Somebody's gonna be like, no, play some fucking defense. Get on your shit. Get your shit together, bro. I'm trying to win the ring. I don't got time for the bullshit. And either you can get on or it's a choice at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even Pat Riley just has that mindset that can keep him in check.
That's what I just want from James Harden, to see that he could come in and play a role. We all know at that time he's not that guy to lead a team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to win a championship, you're going to have to go to a team that you're going to have to play a role, even though you can probably still give you a double with the scoring and assists. We're not asking you to give us 30 points a night and 10 assists. We're not asking that. If you could come in and give me 17, 18 points and 10 assists, that's good enough to be a role player on a basketball team for James Harden.
You just need to fall in line and toe the line and just stop being a prima donna.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
agree. And you know, like I don't have nothing against James Harden. I just feel as though, like, to me, for what I see on film and what I see in the games, sometimes I feel like he quits.
Yep.
And nobody's going to tell him about it. Nobody's going to get on his ass about it. He needs to be on a team where a player's going to get on his ass. For me, if he goes to Houston, he's going to try to run that young core.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be with a bunch of veterans that's going to get on his ass. And we talked about it on previous shows, Mac, when Marcus Smart got on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's ass. That's who James Harden need to be around, a guy like Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Or LeBron James.
Yeah. Or like Draymond Green getting on Kevin Durant when he was with the Warriors.
Right. It's time for a humbling time for James Harden in his career. It's time for humbling.
Yeah, he needs to be held accountable.
And that's what I think. That's what happens in his career, that he has not, been held accountable for certain. I'm not gonna say all playoff losses, but certain playoff losses where it was really crucial, like Game 7 in the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. He didn't take accountability for that. But I mean, it was other times too when he was playing in Brooklyn. He didn't take accountability for that. When he was in Houston, he didn't take accountability for that. You can't really say OKC because he was coming off the bench. So I just want to see the accountability. That's it. The accountability.
In Brooklyn, that was a circus 6 ways from Sunday with.
Yeah, I don't feel like you can blame him for that.
I mean,
you can slightly hold him accountable for something like that, but not entirely.
But he has to take some accountability for it. Basically,
that was just a shit show.
I feel bad for Brooklyn. I mean, even though Brooklyn is rebounding from that debacle, but I kind of felt bad for Brooklyn in that point.
Bro,
I didn't feel bad for Brooklyn at all.
Together, out of all the scraps they got from trading everybody away, actually played better than the team of all them superstars. Ain't that nuts? How
Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson had a half a season with Brooklyn and they made it to the playoffs. That's crazy. That's crazy. We were like 2 or 3 seasons with them. Well, 2 seasons with that big three, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 seasons.
And you had Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges come in and play a half a season during the trade and still make the playoffs. That tells you something. Yeah. And people try to get on me and say that Steve Nash was the right fit in Brooklyn. No, the hell he wasn't.
No,
I didn't understand that. Steve Nash had never in his life coached a basketball game until he went to the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm going to just say this. I was watching the 01 Miami Hurricanes, and when they were talking about running it back, they were just like, look, we were just kids trying to go on a field trip, and we needed a chaperone to go along for the ride. That was Brooklyn to the T. They were kids trying to go on a field trip, and they just needed a yes man.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they got, because, the Miami Hurricanes back in the day, it was wild. They were wild, but they were winning. There were some wild teams back then.
That's crazy.
Hey, say whatever you want, but that team was winning.
All right, Mac, I got some quick takes for you because we already did the fact or fiction, but I want to hear your part of it. Fact or fiction, and we all know this might be a fiction for you. Buffalo Bills win the AFC East. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Bills are going down this year. I don't care if you heard it here first. Bills are going down.
And I said that to you on the show. I said, I was like, Max said that the Bills will be at the last place of the AFC East. That was his hot take, and we going to keep with that. Yeah. Fact or fiction? The Patriots need in caps to sign DeAndre Hopkins. Fact or fiction?
Hold on, say that. Who needs to?
The Patriots need to sign DeAndre Hopkins. Fact or fiction?
I mean, fact. They need him. They need him. Like I said, I said it before last time. Like, dude, if they could get Cook and Hop, bro, you're talking about, now they can really compete. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I feel like the Patriots, you know what I mean? They're gonna have 7 or 8 wins. Like, it's gonna be close. I mean, they're probably gonna have the same record as Buffalo.
All right, so this is all AFC East fact or fiction. I'm gonna do each division, but this we doing the AFC East in this segment. But fact or fiction, Do the Jets need to sign Dalvin Cook to the? Do they need to sign Dalvin Cook to the Jets? Fact or fiction?
No, fiction. I mean, to be honest, they really don't have to make any more moves, and they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. He said the only real competition they got to watch out for in that division is the Dolphins. The only reason they wouldn't have to watch out for the Dolphins is if Tua's hurt. And then with Chase, you know what I'm saying? Like their backup isn't complete trash. It's not like they got, a horrible backup. You know what I mean?
That man competed against the goddamn Bills last year.
How do you say his name? Simeon or is it Stanton or I know it starts with an S. What's your backup's name?
Oh, Skylar Thompson.
Oh, Skylar Thompson.
That's what his first name started with an S. I couldn't remember. But no, I mean he played, dude. The one game he won, his dad stands crying with his son on. He's like, my man got off of work, drove all the way, 3.5 hours to the stadium to watch his son play his first game. Like that shit was nice.
Yeah.
Like shit me. That's why I'm like, I can't wait for my boy to be in the NFL. Sheesh.
All right, so quick another NFL question that I asked the panel as well. Best rivalry in the NFL right now and in the past. Best NFL rivalries in the league right now and in the past.
Well, I'll say as far as the past goes, especially when you're talking about from the late 90s all the way through the 2010s. I mean, the Steelers-Ravens rivalry was hot. That shit was flaming. Like we had the Steelers versus the Ravens we had what was it 20 primetime games in less than 8 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we went there. We've had our games flexed multiple times to be in a primetime spot because it is like it's been one of them rivalries. Now, in today's rivalry, that's tough. That's tough. I'd like to say AFC. But there's not really that much bad blood like there used to be. But now on the NFC side, there's always bad. Okay, what is it? The NFC East with the Eagles and
We just talked about that too.
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, I think that's probably the like if we're talking division, that's probably the biggest rivalry division right there. Yeah, because I mean it is every single year. I mean you got the Redskins. I mean the Commanders.
No, you're right, You're right. It's Redskins. Yeah. Hey, look, that Commanders bullshit. Fuck that. Ain't no
So you got the Commanders, you got the Eagles, you got the Giants, and the Cowgirls.
There you go.
Yeah, no, and it is, and I again, this is probably going to be one of the strongest divisions as far as like these are going to be big games. These are going to be big fucking games because regardless of who all they play, when they play each other, it's fireworks, man.
Oh yeah,
every single time. Like I do. My favorite though, out of all of them, would be either the Eagles versus the Cowboys, right? Or it's the Giants versus the Eagles.
Oh yeah,
those are my two that are big bangs for that division.
I just told No Mercy about the debacle, the miracle in Meadowlands. He don't want to talk about that with the show. He don't want to talk about that though.
Listen, but I will say this, okay? If the Commanders can get a quarterback, that Redskin Cowboy rivalry, that could be spicy shit in the years to come because the team that they got now, that I mean, literally, they as long as they keep drafting the way they're drafting, the Commanders are going to stay relevant over the next few years. It's just whether they're going to get that signal caller or not. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying though, could you imagine Manning coming out in a couple years and getting to a team like the Commanders?
Oh my
God. Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
For right now though, Sam Howell giving me Taylor Heineke vibes because that man looks like he's gonna be a dog for them and just be that leader to step up. Like they'll be mid, but they're gonna be fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that defense that they have, like it's a defense. They've had a sleeper defense for the last few years.
Yeah.
And then especially if everybody's healthy. Sheesh.
They even got football 50 Cent, Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Shot in the leg, and then 6 weeks later comes back. My, get the
But
hell out
it was some other rivalries that I named too, Mac. I named, as of right now, you have that whole circle with, Buffalo and Kansas City, Cincinnati and Kansas City. As of right now, I'm saying, not in the past. But as of right now, of course, it's that Cincinnati and Kansas City thing outside of the division. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be looking at the Chargers versus Kansas City. That shit's gonna start heating up. The better the Chargers get, the more.
The Raiders and the Chargers are a better rivalry for the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm sorry. If you look at the last 3 years, the Raiders and the Chargers games has been flexed up into night games.
Yeah.
And we and I ain't gonna lie, we have been the team that kicked them out the playoffs the last 2 years. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
Put that flex on.
Listen,
But
again though, until the Raiders play good football consistently,
it's a consistent thing.
It's hard for me. Like,
But just when you get a chance, just look at the Chargers and Raiders games in the last 2 years. Just look at those.
No. Definitely peeped them. There've definitely been some good games, and especially on you guys' side. Like I, you know what I mean. I'm not taking anything away from you guys on that, but I mean, I'm saying as far as like to have a consistent rivalry that's a consistent, you know what I mean, like every year.
At
like,
that time, it was us and the Donkeys until we started sweeping the asses. It was us and the Donkeys, well, the Denver Broncos, until we started sweeping them.
My man said the Donkeys.
I do not call them the Broncos. I call them the Donkeys. Exactly, I call them the Donkeys.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have nicknames for the Steelers and the Browns, and come on now. I think everybody has a nickname for their division rivals.
There's one team that I actually hate in the NFL, and I'm sure being from Baltimore, y'all can guess that team. No, the fucking Colts. I hate the Colts. I can't stand the Colts. I can't stand the fact that the motherfuckers still. Our ring is their ring. No, it's not. That trophy is with us. That ring is the Baltimore football team. But,
yeah.
They
did y'all dirty. They left in the middle of the night they did a sneaky link. Yeah. That's what they did.
Knowing they throw that shit up in Mayflower moving trucks and just rolled out. Literally less than a week before. Fucking what is the owner's name?
Oh my God.
But the owner's name now for the Colts?
Yeah.
Ursay?
Yeah. It was his daddy. Like his daddy got in there. He was drunk as shit. Came off the plane. I'm not moving this team out of Baltimore. Who said that? That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie. I didn't tell anybody to move to Baltimore. It was like 5 days later that morning. You see it's showing video footage of all the Mayflower trucks pulling into the store.
Yo, but hey, I can't say that about my Raiders. We've been in 3 cities in our history. We've been in 3 cities. We've been in LA. We've been in Oakland. Now we in Las Vegas. Listen, I don't want us to move no more. I understand the Oakland move to Las Vegas because the city of Oakland is just losing all of their sports teams. If you look at it, the A's is about to move to Las Vegas as well, so they're about to have no sports teams. Thank you, Oakland, because Oakland don't want to. The city of Oakland, being where I used to live at, I used to live there for a couple years, but the city of Oakland is so-called broke. They don't want to give nobody new stadiums. They didn't want to give the A's a new stadium. They didn't want to give Raiders a new stadium, so they rolled out.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's why, like, bro, if you're not fitting to invest in your community and invest into bringing people in and that's that's why your city's poor. That's city's poor. That's why you're going to continue to go down and down. And now you don't have any sports teams.
Yep.
I mean, even the A's fans pulled a reverse boycott, sold out the stadium, and then after one batter, when they were playing the Tampa Bay Rays, they started going deafening loud to chanting "sell the team," so loud that the pitcher couldn't even hear what was going on in his pitching monitor.
Absolutely.
Like, he couldn't even hear what was going on. It's like, you are that bad of an owner when the crowd is that loud telling you to sell the team.
Yeah.
The city of Oakland, I feel bad for the people that actually live in Oakland and they was fans of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have to travel to Las Vegas on a consistent basis to go see their teams. It sucks.
It does.
It sucks. In the city of Oakland, I mean, you had us playing on a baseball field during football games. I hated that. Even though it's so many memorable games that I've been to in that stadium living out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a shitty stadium.
Yeah, it still
was shitty in the stands. I felt like I was at a high school football game. It really was shitty in them stands. But we was the black hole. We didn't care. We got drunk and did we had a good old time. But the city of Oakland they just messed up, man. So
yeah, they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
And now this goes to my last question that I didn't ask, but I think this should be a good idea. Should the NBA bring a team to Las Vegas now, since we have MLB, we have NHL, we have WNBA and NFL? Is it time for the NBA to bring a team to Las Vegas?
Yeah, when LeBron's ready to have his NBA team start up in Las Vegas, we'll all know about it.
Oh yeah,
because it's going to be LeBron's team. LeBron would probably be the one person that could actually own that team and successfully run it in Las Vegas without being on the headline news of being coked up driving down Las Vegas Boulevard at 125 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing we're really going to have to deal with is LeBron fanatics just like, you see, this is how he's easily better than Jordan. It's like, okay, cool.
No, Jordan will always be the greatest single player. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can say Shaq, you can say Wilt, you can say names, and I give them all due credit, absolutely. But when you're talking about pure dominance, as like if you're talking about everything, a guy who can do everything and who did everything to the highest level that you can possibly do it, it's all Michael Jordan. I mean.
And and before we end the show, because I know I want to end the show, I want to give a shout out to Dwayne Wade. I don't know if y'all saw that news that Dwayne Wade is possibly being one of the investors for the Chicago Sky and for the WNBA team. So because from what I've read in the article, the Chicago Sky is an independent team in the WNBA. They are not affiliated with the NBA or the Chicago Bulls in itself. So we all know that Dwayne Wade is from Chicago. So he's going to be, he's looking for the right. I think he's looking for the right time to make the announcement that he's going to be invested into the team. But I think that's a good look for the league in itself to have a big name star like a Dwayne Wade and about to be a Hall of Famer. Invest to a team that's from his city. So I definitely like that. I definitely didn't want to talk about it much because it's still more more details of it. But we was talking about ownership and it made me think of the whole article that I read yesterday. But
I want to hit on the topic. I want to hit on the topic real quick and on a serious note. Mental health awareness is a big thing, man, especially for men. There's a lot of guys, and I mean, I know we're mostly all tough guys, and we like to hold shit in when we're dealing with a lot of problems. But sometimes we have real dark days, and man, like, please reach out to somebody. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member. I mean, get a therapist. Don't be ashamed in it. Like I go to therapy at least a few times a month, just to get stress and things off my chest. It's a stigma that guys really, we don't look at, we don't pay attention to, and like it hit home for me this week. Like somebody I know, had a really big person in their life pass away. And I'll say, R.I.P. to Gabe. This guy was going through a real dark time, and he didn't know he had people that really loved him, and that would have done anything for him. And because he was going through it, he wasn't thinking in the right mind space, and he took his own life, and that's something that a lot of young men need to understand. Like, there's no wrong way to go about it. Talk to somebody. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your loved ones, like even a stranger. You know what I mean? Like there's always somebody willing to listen. So find your resources if you ever feel yourself in that predicament, Like I said, with guys, you know, it's a different story because a lot of guys think, you know, oh, I'm soft, I'm weak, I'm supposed to, you know, hide my feelings, I'm supposed to push my emotions down. Nah, man, that's not human. That's not human. And that's what we are at the end of the day. We're all humans.
And
So,
I just want the men out there to feel the like you're not alone out here. You don't have to, you know, have all that bottled up, because it be I don't want to throw the woman under the bus, but some of the women be saying like, oh, you and your feelings too much. You do this, you do that. It's some women that does. It's some women that do that. Some women, majority don't. But it's some women out there, they be like, oh, you need to toughen up. Da 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 da. You need to do this. No, it's right. If you're in your feelings and you and your emotions, express them things. You know, express them. It gets so much weight off your shoulders when you do that. And I'm still learning it as I go, but I have gotten better with it because I was a person I used to shut down badly. I know I used to tell nobody nothing, but now I'm getting to that point where I'm reaching out to people, I'm talking to people, and it makes me feel a little bit better now. But I'm not just ignore that negativity to tell you to toughen up. Don't ignore that negativity there.
If you're dealing with somebody trying to gaslight you because your feelings make them feel a certain type of way,
right,
then that's a certain type of person that you don't need to be around. Like, and seriously, because more people don't say this enough. Like, I don't care if it's you know, your girlfriend, I don't give, it's your brother, sister, parents, you know, you cannot let that type of negativity in your life and in your head. Like, seriously, it's if you got to cut somebody off or keep them at an arm's distance because you know that they're toxic for you. You know what I mean? You only live once. Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Other people's judgments, beliefs, and views turn your life upside.
Absolutely. That's why I kind of pushed the live back to 12:15 instead of 12:30 or 12 o'clock because of what happened this morning. So I had to make sure. Book was about to black. That's all I'm about to say. He about to black out. But I told him to chill, calm down. Let's get ready for the show. Let's have a great show. Steph Curry in the chat. He said, he said, hey y'all. Steph Curry said, hey, he said, when Baba Whitmore are bust.
Man, okay, now you're trying to troll.
Man, homie just
Arku said trade Dame, and Dame requested trade now. That's what they're saying. So we talked about it. We talked about Dame and what possibilities where he could go to.
Man,
we said a few,
his feelings, bro. Like, why wouldn't you want to play with somebody like Scoop? Like, that's only gonna make you better. Like, you asked for help.
I said that though. I said that, bro. I was like, yo, he has to make up his mind what he wants to do. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Because now you're having private workouts with Scoop, but you want a veteran player. Man, you being bipolar at this point. Make up your mind. Make up your mind.
Man, he sounds like a woman when you ask, what do you want to eat?
Yep. It's like that scene from the Notebook. It's like that scene from the Notebook.
How about this? No. How about this? No.
Yep.
What you want? I don't know.
What do you want? It's not that simple.
Listen, closed mouths don't get fed. So, Dame, you got to figure it out, bro. Closed mouths don't get fed, but we are definitely. What, you got something, bud? You got some news? You came up to the camera really quickly.
Nah.
Because you
no.
You peep that on the live, Matt, right? You peep that on the live. When you see something about to happen or something goes down, you see it in the draft, he pops up real quick.
Breaking news.
Yo.
Yes.
You don't pop. Like, he be sitting there on his phone like this, right? And then boom. It's something. I'm like, yo, it got to be some news coming. The way he just popped up like that.
You gotta just,
hold on. I don't want to end
stay on it,
real
man.
quick. Hold up. But bro, I thank you from No Mercy Sports. Thank you for coming on the show, man. It's definitely always fun to have you on here. And I know you're on vacation. You looking good right now, man. You looking good. Got the shades on.
In vacation in Tampa, visiting family right now.
Oh man, I know. Listen, I know about Florida. I've been in Kissimmee a few times, and it's beautiful out there in Florida. So I'm trying to get to Tampa, but hopefully I can. Huh?
That humidity, is it thick down there?
Yeah, like I'm sweating just sitting here.
Oh, I can imagine. Woo.
But let everybody know where they can find you at, man. I know everything is at No Mercy Sports, but I'll definitely let you take the floor and tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me on all forms of social media: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. And I always got a link that'll be like, hey, click this link to go to the other forms of social media to check me out. It's been a while since I made an episode, but honestly, I'm having a great time coming on here with you guys and talking sports and just talking about what's going on in the world of sports in general. So, yeah, like I said, YouTube and other forms of social media, you can find me. And I just want to quick say one thing. Something is in the water down in South Beach, man, because, I mean, this past year we saw both Miami and Florida Atlantic in the Final Four. We saw the Miami Heat get to the NBA Finals. We saw the Florida Panthers get to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Miami Marlins are just hailing the Atlanta Braves right now, and one of their players is batting a .400. And, I mean, man, if the Miami Dolphins do something, something's definitely in the water in Miami.
Absolutely. Listen, I got to make a trip to Miami. I definitely got to make a trip to Miami wearing my throwback Shaquille O'Neal jersey. I got to do that.
Guys, it was great doing the show with you.
Absolutely. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the show, man. On YouTube, we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at DhopkinsShow. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that good old stuff. D-Hop Nation t-shirts are now available. The link is in the chat. New logos will be coming up soon for those as well. We out of here, y'all. We will have a new time starting Monday. We will not be going on at 12 o'clock anymore. I think we're doing. I think the poll said 4 to 6, but I'm gonna say 5 to 7 due to the fact that Mac's job. How to do it. So we're gonna go 5 to 7 or 5 to 6:30 ish at that moment. So we're gonna go a little bit further up in the time now because of ain't really not too much going on. But we're out of here, y'all. Yeah. We'll see y'all on Monday. Have a great vacation, bro. Have a good time this weekend, Boog. I don't want nothing else. I know
we good, man. We good.
I know you finished it, but
yeah, we good.
We're gonna be good this weekend, and we'll see y'all Monday, man. We out of here, y'all. Have a blessed weekend, y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.